Hello friends, welcome to my video. Today we are diving into the world of NGINX. We will explore its powerful features, learn how to configure it, and walk through a practical implementation of NGINX server on AWS. So let's get started and unleash the potential of NGINX together. What is NGINX and why do we need it? NGINX is an open source web server software that also functions as a reverse proxy, load balancer, and HTTP cache. NGINX is an essential tool for building and managing modern web applications. Its high performance, versatility, and rich feature set make it a valuable asset for developers and system administrators. Whether you need to handle high traffic, secure your application, or optimize content delivery, NGINX provides the necessary tools to achieve these goals. So let us discuss these features one by one. This is the NGINX architecture diagram where the client request passes through NGINX and send the request to the backend server. We will discuss this example later in this video. So NGINX as a web server. A web server serves web pages to users who visit a website. Imagine you have a static website with HTML, CSS, and image files. NGINX is configured to listen for incoming HTTP request. When a user enters your blog URL in their browser, NGINX receives this request. NGINX looks in its specified directory for requested files and sends them back to the user's browser. So here you see the server block. It's the configuration of the web server where we are serving our website from the directory /where/www/html, and the index file is index.html. Next is reverse proxy. So what is reverse proxy? A reverse proxy forwards client requests to backend server and sends the server's response back to the client. Let us go back to our previous example diagram. And in this scenario, NGINX acts as a reverse proxy to distribute incoming client requests to multiple backend servers, ensuring load balancing and redundancy. Additionally, we will manage authentication and authorization to secure access to the backend servers. A user accesses the web application by entering the URL in their browser and or making an API request. For example, a user requests http://example.com/api/data. So NGINX is configured to listen for incoming request on port 80 for HTTP. NGINX receives the request from the user browser, forwards the request to the backend server, and NGINX uses a load balancing strategy to forward the requests to one of the backend servers. The selected backend server processes the request. This may involve querying the database, performing computation, or retrieving necessary data. After processing the request, the backend server sends the response back to NGINX. NGINX receives the response from the backend server, forwards the response to the user browser or client application. So here we have multiple backend servers. We have 3 backend servers, backend 1, 2, and 3. So this is the configuration example. We have declared one upstream backend server block and forwarding the request to the backend server, and it uses this backend server to forward the request. Now the next feature is caching. So caching stores copies of a content to serve it quickly to users without having to fetch it from the original server each time. For example, your website has content that doesn't change often, like images or blog post. First time a user requests a resource, NGINX fetches it from the backend server and stores a copy. For subsequent requests, NGINX serves the cached copy directly, speeding up the response time. Now, as you see, we have declared in the configuration proxy cache path, which is slash data slash nginx slash cache, and the location block to enable the caching on the website. The next is load balancer. A load balancer distributes incoming traffic across multiple servers to prevent any single server from becoming overwhelmed. For example, your website has a high traffic and you use multiple servers to handle it. NGINX receives the incoming request. It distributes these requests from across several backend servers. This ensures no single server gets overloaded, improving performance and reliability. Load balancing strategies include round robin, least connections, or IP hash. After processing the request, the backend server sends the response back to NGINX. NGINX receives the response from the backend server. NGINX forwards the response to the user browser or client application. The round robin load balancing distributes client requests evenly across all backend servers in a sequential order. After reaching the last server, the next request goes back to the first server and the cycle continues. Use case of round robin: it is suitable for applications where all backend servers have similar processing capabilities and handle requests uniformly. Least connection load balancing forward the request to the backend server with the fewest active connections. This strategy is beneficial when requests have varying load and duration. Use case: it is ideal for scenarios where some requests take significantly longer to process than others, ensuring that no single server gets overwhelmed. IP hash load balancing uses client's IP address to determine which backend server will handle the request. This ensures that a client with the same IP address consistently reaches the same backend server, which can be useful for session persistence. Use case of IP hash useful for applications where maintaining session state is important, such as online shopping carts or user sessions. The next one is NGINX for media streaming. Media streaming delivers audio and video content over the internet. For example, you have a website where user can watch videos. NGINX stream media files to user in a real time. User can watch videos without needing to download the entire file first. Here in the server configuration block, you see we are streaming the videos from slash data slash video directory. The next one is web application firewall, WAF. A WAF protect web application by filtering and monitoring the HTTP requests to prevent attacks. Your website needs protection from common attacks like SQL injection or cross-site scripting. So NGINX inspect incoming requests for malicious patterns. It block requests and match known attack patterns, protecting your application. And for this, it uses mod security module. So here in the server configuration block, you see the mode security is enabled is on, and the path of the mode security config is given /etc/nginx /modsecurity.conf. Now the next one is nginx for URL rewriting and redirection. So what is URL rewriting? URL rewriting modifies URLs for better usability or SEO, and redirection sends user from one URL to another. For example, if you want all the requests to example.com to be redirected to www.example.com, so you can write a rule for this redirection. and NGINX will rewrite all incoming requests accordingly. It can also redirect users to different URL based on the condition. Here in the configuration, you see the rewrite rule is written for the location, and there is one more rewrite rule for to redirect all the old page to the new page. So this is for URL rewriting and redirection. The next one is NGINX for SSL and TLS termination. SSL TLS termination handles the encryption and decryption of HTTPS traffic, making it secure. For example, your website uses HTTPS for secure connections. NGINX handles SSL, TLS handshake and encryption. It decrypts incoming encrypted traffic from before passing it to the backend server. Encrypts outgoing traffic before sending it to the user. So in simple words, we can configure our SSL certificate here so that uh, our site can work on secure 443 connection on port 443. Here you see SSL certificate path is given and SSL certificate key is given. So now let us see an example to configure our server with NGINX. I've already created one instance on EC2. It is a Linux instance, so we will have to run the Linux command, and I'm using git bash terminal to connect my SSH. Now let us copy the SSH command. It's not copied properly. Yep, we are connected now. Let us update first. So sudo yum update. Yep, nothing to update. Now let us install sudo yum install NGINX. Yes, it's installing the NGINX. Yep, NGINX is installed now. Now let us start sudo systemctl start NGINX. Started. Now sudo systemctl enable NGINX. Yep, NGINX is enabled. Now let us see cd etc/nginx. Now here you see we have a file nginx.conf. This is our configuration file, nginx configuration file. So let us just open this file, sudo nano nginx.conf. Now we should have one server block. This is our server block. It is listening on port 80 and forwarding all the requests to this directory, user share nginx html. So let us see this file, cd user share html. cd user share and cd default. Let us again check the path. cd nginx, cd etc nginx, then sudo nano nginx dot conf. Again check the directory. Okay, user share nginx, control x, cd slash cd user share nginx html dir. Yes, index.html is the default file. Let us modify and see whether it is working. Let us first check what is opening up in this file at the moment. Yep, welcome to nginx. That is fine. Now let us just modify this file and see whether our nginx configuration is working properly or not. So sudo nano index.html. Okay, this is our file. Let us remove everything. Now, instead of welcome to nginx, let us write hello world. So it is working fine. We have configured our server for the one static site. It can be from a different path as well, but we have just for simplicity we have just kept the default path of nginx, but it can be under where and www or apache or tomcat or any other server, and forward the request from nginx to that particular server. So here we have seen that the nginx configuration it's adjusted to perform the function, whether it's serving the content directly, forwarding the request to backend server, distributing traffic, caching, streaming media, protecting web application, rewriting URLs, or handling SSL and TLS encryption. This flexibility makes nginx a powerful tool for the web infrastructure. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel and like the video. See you in the next one. Thank you.